is everybody?
Ready for that?
Probably worse than you, but.
Bob, you give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, Coach, if you want to start us with an opening statement.
Sure. Yeah, I would say exactly what I just said in the end of game, the huddle. This point of the season, it's about surviving and advancing, and you can win ugly, but a win's a win, and we have to be proud of that. I do think there were things against us today, but what we are most proud of is that they stuck together. We problem solved throughout the game. It wasn't our cleanest, but I think everybody saw what happened after the Louisville game at the start of the ACC tournament, so I have faith. But overall, just really proud with a good win. I think Seats, the reason why she's sitting next to me, I think she was all over the field. She had a phenomenal game. I think Charlie had an amazing game as well. And everybody else, obviously had a role in the win, but those two guys stood out for me. And yeah, we're looking forward to just scouting this next game, seeing who will play on Sunday, and grateful for another day in the Carolina Blue.
Coach, do you kind of take away when it's a grind like that? Does it help you moving forward?
Yes, definitely. I think it's not the first time you guys have heard me say it, but I think this program's proven that we know how to learn from wins. And even though this was a win, the vibe in the huddle, the looks on all the girls' faces, I think that was the best part about today, is that not one person was smiling after an NCAA tournament first round win, because they know they have more in them. So I think even though it's a win, it feels heavier than that. And based on past experiences and just how determined and competitive these guys are, I think it's always a good thing. So you don't aim for it to happen, but it's all about your response, right?
And if I could ask you to recall kind of last year, Final Four, losing to St. Joe's, what were kind of the emotions coming into today's game, especially with returners on that team?
Yeah, there were definitely emotions with today. And I think all season long we've leaned into those emotions in whatever game or magnitude they are, and I think this group responds well to that. So the message today was, if you were here last year, no need for explanation. You guys have your own business to take care of, and those of you who are new, they all bleed Carolina blue, so there's a part of ownership with that too, and they want it for all of their teammates. So we were pretty clear with lean into that emotion, because this group does well with that, and just finding the motivation in anything. And I think it feels pretty good to be on the other side of it this year, for sure.
And Sietske, what were you seeing from St. Joe's today, especially on that defensive end towards the start of that game?
I think they came out with a lot of fire, which we expected them to do. They have a good defensive unit, I think, and they were swarming us all over the ball, and I think it took us a little bit to get into that flow of playing around their swarming of the ball and stuff. And I think it took us too long to recognize that and change what we were doing. But in the end, we did change it. And I think we just fell back on what we had practiced, what we know we can do. And I think if we can beat it like this in a not so pretty way, then that's a good sign. So.
Yeah, and for you, what were your emotions throughout the game, and how do you think y'all were sort of able to find that offensive rhythm towards the end of the game?
I think I always believed it's okay, and I think there needs to be a good balance between it's okay, we got it, and also being it's not okay, we need to change it, but not freaking out. And I think we made a shift at some point, and I think everyone believed the entire game that we were okay. We just had to change some actions, and we were good, like Erin said, problem solving, pointing out what we needed to change and changing it, and it wasn't pretty, but we ended up doing it. So.
And for you, what were the emotions facing St. Joe's, especially after last year?
Well, obviously, I was excited to play them again. There's something unresolved there. So that was it was a good game. I think it was a great start to the NCAA tournament to have a game like this that has a lot of emotion in it, and to prepare you for the rest of the games as well. And it was obviously a tough game, but the emotions in the fight and wanting to get that revenge and then coming out on the opposite side, like Erin said, is a good feeling.
And for either of y'all, what was kind of going into that fourth quarter like? What did the huddle look like? What was kind of the discussions, and did anything kind of stick out about? I know you said everyone was focused, but even after the game winning, it's
Yeah, I think the score helped us going into the fourth quarter a little bit. It gave us an easy story of it's 0-0, it's a new game. And it was just going to be about, like Siet said, going back to our game plan, our strengths, playing Carolina field hockey, but also giving it your all for 15 minutes. 1-1 is the same as 0-0. So it was all about winning that fourth quarter. We've trained that situation and just that scenario, and we were fully confident in everybody. But they needed to execute, and I think they really came together very nicely in the fourth quarter and did that. And then, of course, Charlie Bruder stepping up in a big moment. Again, there were so many moments from Sietz and everybody out there to get the ball in that position and create opportunities, but it takes one of them to put it away, and Charlie constantly steps up, so we're really proud of her.
Yeah, if you could talk about her goal a little bit, and you, Sietske, as well, just kind of what y'all were seeing there, and obviously Charlie's role as a whole on this team.
Yeah, I think we have trust in her. She's a natural goal scorer. You guys have seen that since she stepped foot on campus. And that's not always something you can teach, just for somebody to know exactly where the net is at all times. And she finds a way to put it in. She's very skilled. And I think, we've talked in previous interviews of her becoming an even more well-rounded player and adding more tools to her arsenal. But her shots and goal scoring abilities, they've always been there. So in moments, we are lucky where we have multiple people we can turn to and say, I trust you to put it away. But Charlie will definitely always be one of those people.
You just talk about your back end there, especially the chaotic ending there when they had the goalie out. Your goalies have stepped up,
Mm-hmm.
but your defensemen back there have been solid as
Mm-hmm.
well. Just the impression you have of those guys.
Yeah, I think Sietz can talk about it a little bit too, but from looking from our first game this season to see how far we've grown with defense is really promising and encouraging and rewarding. We spent a lot of time and energy on it and worked hard at it, and not that we haven't done the same on attack, but we knew this season that was going to have to be an area of focus, and I think it's one thing for us as a coaching staff to want it and to create drills and put them in the environment, but it's a two-way street, and these guys need to lean into it and embrace it and be coachable, and that's what they've been all season long. So we're seeing all of their hard work pay off in some of these really close games, and also in the games where we're winning comfortably, because we have organization back there. And I think there's always elements of the games you can improve, and same on the attacking front, but with Grace, Bell, and Hope, and then Coco or Sietz rolling back there too on top of the two goalkeepers. Like I said, it's just been very promising to see how far they've come, and I think as a whole unit, we have a lot of trust in them now, even more than at the start of the season. I don't know if you want to add anything, Sietz.
Yeah, I think we've made massive steps in the defense, and I think part of it's just a mentality, and we've installed a mentality in each other's brains, and I think also the trust and everyone knowing their role and everyone executing their role. And I think a big thing for us is communication, and you've seen every single player on the entire field stepping up as the goalies, talking the entire game, which is, I think, a really big part in defense. So that's a big step we've made, and we continue growing every game.
Right. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you
Thank you.
guys. Good job, Sietz.
We got Coach Prince coming in.